Hi, I'm Elisabeth Dawson, and thanks for tuning back into Ways to Love Your Money. I have a wonderful guest here. She's been a dear friend of mine for many years now. This is Miss Marti Ervin, and we're just so happy to have you here on the show today.
Thank you, Missy. I appreciate it. It's
You're
nice
welcome.
to be here.
You're
nice
welcome.
to be back in San Diego.
I know you love it. And
I
know.
do.
Well, where are you now? Nobody knows out there that's listening.
Well, I actually live in the town that I was born in, and I was born in Mooresville, North Carolina. We won't talk about how long ago, but I was born in Mooresville, North Carolina, and then I came out to California, lived here for a number of years, and 36 to be exact, and then I left and went back to North Carolina. So that's my movement story. It was great. It's great to be back where I was born.
That's good. That's good.
I do miss California, though.
I'm sure. Well, that's why you want to come out here as many times as you can.
That's right.
Visit. Doesn't mean you have to leave permanently. You can always visit, and
I do.
You never know what that story looks like in the future.
You don't know that, right?
No.
That's my next story.
That's
with
the
Elisabeth.
next story? Okay, the next Elisabeth story.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have some success stories that we want to talk about right now.
Yeah.
And I know that you have been in a situation where we've been kind of talking through the process, but we're now able to celebrate the big retirement.
Yeah.
So how does it feel?
It's amazing, actually. I didn't think that I would be able to do this trip and enjoy it, but I have found that as I'm doing this trip, it's so much better than working. It's so much better than working. And now that I have enough money to live on, or to know that I can live, that's what makes me happy.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I would say that, you talked about successes, and I think successes are really defined mostly by who you are and what you think success is. So for me, most of my career, I would think I've changed since I've retired a little bit, or I think it's actually through the growth with you that I've changed. Because originally it was about getting titles and getting the promotions and just making more and taking on more. And now I look back and I think, no, really the successes in my life mostly were about everybody else being successful, everybody else having a good life, me being able to enable them to do better in their life. And then it was me being reflective pretty much on my career and going, when were those points that I felt most successful? And when I would walk away at the end of a day and I had helped somebody, I felt so much better than if I had just crunched through the mundane work that I had to do every day or whatever to get through to the next step.
Well, kind of going through that and seeing that epiphany, were you putting yourself on the front burner or the back burner during those years?
Oh, I definitely put myself on the back burner. I mean, I like to say, I like to say that I was actually pimped out. I pimped myself out pretty much to my work, because I felt like I needed to always be performing, always be on, and the number of hours that I had to put in to continue to try and get to an end, but you never get to an end. In the kind of work that I did, you never got to an end.
Right.
Trying to figure that out was a struggle for me.
Well, you were a top executive for a major company.
I
and
was.
You had a lot of demands on you each and every day. And I think even that process of trying to get you to the place of being able to retire and say, I can actually do this, probably took us a few years to get to there. But, mentally, because we all have to be mentally ready for that next chapter in our life.
Yeah.
But, and that's, when people are listening to this, because that's the biggest transition, the next step into retirement. How do I occupy my time? How do I keep myself busy so that I'm not thinking about, oh gosh, I have to be someplace to work, and earn that paycheck? It
was so interesting that you say that, because as I was getting to the point where we had a lot of conversations and, getting me over the ledge about doing what I needed to do to accept you as a financial consultant for me, a guide on, if you will, about how I was going to make it through the rest of my life, was the best decision I've ever made. That, by the way, was probably the most important success in my life. Just allowing me to let you help me get to the next step, which I wasn't really good at doing. But to that end, people would say, what are you going to do when you retire? And I go,
I don't know.
I don't really know, but it's going to be a lot of fun trying to be retired. And people were so worried because they know that I'm a type A++ personality, and they just knew that I would just sort of die on the vine. And I retired in April. I have not sat down for a minute since I retired, and I don't see it happening anytime soon. I'm actually looking to take on some additional kind of things as I get, as I get comfortable. But I've gotten my golf game back now, and I'm feeling really good about that. And I feel like I'm going in the right direction. I think I can probably help humanity better by doing what I'm doing now than where I was before.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's good.
So now your golf game is back on.
Yeah.
And you're actually here in San Diego for a golf tournament, which is great.
Yes.
It's kind of some of those dreams that you had so you could actually have more time for golf and friends and travel more and enjoy life. And
Yeah, so I'll tell you too, I used to be a little bit jealous of a lot of my friends that would take off time during the week, didn't feel compelled to work all that much. I mean, they were doing a great job at what they were doing, but they didn't feel like they owed their life to the company they were with, and I didn't feel that way. And so I never got a chance to play a lot of the golf tournaments that I really wanted to play and get into more of an amateur status and, the mid amateurs and the senior amateurs and things like that. And so now I've got an opportunity to do some of that. And
that's great.
I'm very excited about it. It's interesting you really have to get the rust off though, because you just can't throw yourself back into that. And it's been a challenge for the last couple of months trying to get that rust off, but it's been fun.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
And so to that end, I will be playing in Rancho Santa Fe this weekend or tomorrow and Wednesday. And I'm very excited about that opportunity. Yeah.
And I know you're a competitive gal. So,
I am.
So you're going to be like going out there and tearing it up.
Yes, I hope so. Well, tearing it up in a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yes, and there's usually a good cause for those things too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's good. So anybody that's listening right now and they're contemplating retirement, or they're thinking like, gosh, I've been told I can retire, but I really don't know what it looks like, or even getting through the psychology of getting ready to say, I'm done. I'm done with the work world. And, I understand that money reacts completely different in retirement than when I was working for that paycheck every month, right?
Right.
But, what would you have to say if we fast forward now, let's say for someone that's thinking within a year, 2 years, 3 years that they want to retire, what would you say? And I kind of think I already know the answer to this, but it took us a while to get there with you even. But what would you say to those people that are really contemplating, gosh, if I'm ready to create retirement now, or if I'm ready to transition away from my, very big career position, or I'm just going to work a few more years? Because so many people think I can never retire, right? So what would you say to anybody that's listening that's really contemplating about, gosh, this is so hard, I don't think I can do it?
Well, that's a really interesting question, because it takes a bit of reflection. It takes a bit of having somebody on your side. I'll say that you were on my side. It's a vote of confidence in who you're talking to, and to some point, it's about taking that first step and knowing that, okay, I've got that net below me, so if something happens, I'll be okay.
Right.
And it's building that trust that we've done over the last 5 years or something to knowing that I had an end to a means, and the means being, doing what I want to do, what I love to do, going when I want to, coming to San Diego when I want, going to New York when I want, seeing a play when I want, do whatever I want to do.
Sure.
Was about being able to do that, but the bigger picture was being able to do for those around me. I'm pretty much a giver. I like to help people when I can help people, and I've done a lot of that work throughout my life, but never enough. And so that means the end gives me the opportunity to do more of that. Now, to your question, you specifically said, what would I tell the people that are listening to this podcast? And I would say that, I would definitely caution you against doing it on your own. Most of us we're not trained as you're trained to think about the things that will be coming our way. Even we've learned through the process of you and I that there are still things we may have missed, but at least because I'm comfortable and where I'm going, I can cover off those things as they come my way. I would say that if you have someone that's taking care of you, helping you, and not necessarily a financial planner necessarily, but a financial coach is what you've been to me, that's the first key to being able to take that step to retirement. My goal, as you well know, was to retire at 67.
Right.
Well, I'm 65.
Right.
Okay. So I'm done.
Congratulations.
And I love it.
Uh-huh.
And I'll tell you, it's the best thing I've ever done in my life.
That's great.
It was freeing for me. I've had a couple of times where I've looked back and I've said, not looked back, but I mean, like on a Sunday night or something, I go, oh, wait, I got to go to bed because I got to go to, no, I don't have to go to work. I have to get up, but I don't have to get up at a certain time.
Right.
And I have to do what I need to do, but I only do what I want to do now versus what somebody else wants me to do. It's
a difference when you get to choose versus I have to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Those people who, when you think that you're going to run out of time, or you think that you're going to not run out of time, but you think you're not going to have enough to do, I challenge you to think about all those things that you never did in your life, or you kept thinking, I'll put that off till tomorrow, and I'll get that done later, or I'm going to do that when I retire, or I'm going to read books. Well, I've started reading books now because I never had time to read. Now I can read and take the time to do what I want to do. I just say that you have to be comfortable where you are in your life, and then take that first step and go do it, because retirement is not the end of your life. To me, it's the beginning of your life. It really is. It was the beginning of my life, and I'm just absolutely loving it. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Because I know it's been a long journey to get us to this place.
Yes.
But congratulations, because now you just get to go celebrate. And now you get to be busier than you've ever been.
And I really am too.
Yep, but based on things that you actually enjoy and love to do. So that's a key to success, I think.
It is. Yeah. So believe in yourself. That's what I'm saying. Go believe in yourself, and believe in the person that's coaching you, or believe in the people around you, surrounding you with good thoughts, and just understand that it's all easy. It's all easy.
Well, these are words of wisdom, and Marty's situation isn't just like everyone else's, but some of the things along the journey were about an income for life report and an analysis, and really looking at what the income is going to look like, because income in retirement acts very different than income while you're working. Paying FICA, paying Social Security, paying Medicare, maybe putting money in your 401k or 403b. You're living off of a far different net than what you'll be living on when you get into retirement if you've planned right. Marti had anxieties along the way. Most people do, but you need to trust in other people that really have a great sense of knowing and knowledge that they can coach you in the right path to make sure that your income looks better than most, and better than your original situation. Because most of us think like, well, gosh, if I'm not making $150,000 to $200,000 gross per year, I'm not going to make it. Well, once you look at that cash and you see what that income has been and what you've been living on, you might have only been living off of about $70,000 or $80,000, believe it or not. So that's what has to be replaced, not necessarily the gross number, which most people think that that's what the number should be. So, take these words of wisdom and say, okay, do I have my income report? Do I know what that analysis looks like for me, whether I'm a single individual or a married individual or in a committed relationship, whatever that might be? How do those things affect? And really look at what your cash flow is and see what it looks like net of expense, net of those real taxes. And it might be Medicare, or it might be Social Security that pops in, and everyone thinks they have to wait until that full age of Social Security. Well, you don't. And these are things that need to be taken into consideration. If you retire younger, what's my health insurance going to look like? So how do all these pieces kind of, mix back into the play? So if you have questions about those things, don't feel hesitant to reach out to questions with an S at Elisabeth with an S, Dawson.com, or call us at 619-640-2622 and start to work on those analysis reports with us. We'll help you out with them, but you should know what your income looks like in retirement, because money acts completely different in retirement than it does when you're actually working and trying to accumulate it. So with that said, stay tuned for more episodes to come, and we can't wait to hear your feedback. Take care. The information provided in this show is for informational and educational purposes only. This show is not investment advice, nor is it intended to address the financial needs of any particular viewer. The opinions expressed on this show are not intended to be an endorsement of any particular investment strategy, or service of any other kind. You must make an independent decision regarding investments or strategies mentioned throughout the show. Before acting on information in this show, you should consider whether it is suitable for your particular situation and strongly consider seeking advice from a financial advisor.